All right, here I'm just going to quickly walk you through what the Oura Ring app tells you in terms of data on your sleep, readiness, and activity. Okay, here you're looking at the home screen, which you'll see every time you turn on your phone. I tend to look at it in the morning after I wake up with a keen focus on the sleep score, which is right down here, right? I will click that and see 80, decent, and it says basically some sort of automated message based on the one thing that was wrong. So my restfulness, because I was waking up in the middle of the night because it got particularly hot that night, right? If I want to see more detail on my sleep, I click the sleep icon on the bottom here, and then it'll give me all the details. You can see that I can scroll back every day for the history that I've owned my ring, which is 5 months now. So here basically tells you total sleep time, time in bed, sleep efficiency, which is the amount of time you're sleeping divided by the amount of time that you are in bed. So 92% of the time I was lying in bed, I was asleep. And then my lowest resting heart rate. Here's just the different measurements that come into the sleep score of 80 that I have, right? Total sleep, efficiency, restfulness, REM, deep sleep, latency, and timing. As you can see, deep sleep is a big problem for me. It then breaks up the sleep into the different stages of sleeping right here. If you click this little gauge icon here beside sleep stages, it allows you to adjust the time that you're in bed there, or the sort of the white restlessness time, and that's because it can't tell if you're reading a book or if you're lying in bed trying to sleep but not unable to sleep. So for me, I was reading a book for about half an hour, from about 10:10 to 10:45, so 35 minutes. And in reality, as soon as I put down my book, I fell right asleep. So I make that manual adjustment just so the sleep is more accurate. Okay, and then it tracks your resting heart rate right here. Ideally, what you want to see here is sort of a U-shaped chart, which show, but I can here it's slightly a bit of a downward right slope, so it's not the most ideal thing. I do keep a good eye on that, because if it's really sloping down, it might mean that I ate too late at night, or I just wasn't ready enough for bed, so my body took longer than it should have or needed to get fully rested and then ramp up for the next day to come. If I go over to readiness now on the second little icon on the bottom here, I can see the readiness scores. So up here, up top, there's the readiness score over time, and then my resting heart rate in the number there in the little white circle. If I click any of these numbers here, for example, resting heart rate, 44 beats per minute, it'll show the charts of my resting heart rate over time, which is, in the past while, I guess, been pretty consistent. You can also see it monthly. So it went down for a while, and then it's back up because I was on holidays, living the finer things in life and not treating my heart rate so well. All right, so you can see my readiness is doing pretty well, and these are all the different measurements that come into it. Sleep balance, just how much you're sleeping over time. Previous day's activity, body temperature, resting heart rate, and recovery index, which I don't actually know what that is. Heart rate variability goes into it, which, as you can see, goes up, which is basically the inverse to what the resting heart rate that we already just looked at is. Okay, and then the activity monitoring is, for me, pretty much useless, because, for example, say if I just quickly scroll down here, it says, you can see that it says I did high activity for 10 minutes, when in reality I did a timed 20-minute high intensity workout. So it's off. I mean, it just gives you a general idea of your activity intensity. Again, the whole idea of this thing, or the most important part of this, is to track your sleep, so I don't really put too much focus onto this. And there is a chance that at some point they're going to enable you to turn on your ring for more continuous tracking of your activities, so this will be more accurate, in which case that would be more handy than it is right now, where at this time is more just like a general idea of how active you're moving and keeping track of your steps and whatnot. So there you have it. That's the home screen for the Oura, and the different other tabs you have for monitoring your mostly your sleep, but also your well-being, readiness, and activity. Hope that helps.